Hello everyone, this is Dr. Shijun Wang from Baylor University. In today's video, I am going to continue talking about the Chopin's first scherzo. Last time we stopped roughly around measure 69, so I'm going to pick it up from there. And usually the measure number doesn't mean much, but I had an important point last time in the last video that all Chopin scherzos are grouped into four major phrases, and he's really very aware of that. Every major section you divide the pieces into. Basically, that measure number can be divided by four. So I guess the first section really ended in measure 68. And all of the scherzos are very, very repetitive. This section in a total repeated 5 times, and each time almost exactly the same. And here, this section, which I'm going to talk about, let's not call it B section, because usually people refer to B section as this singing lyrical part. But this part we have 3 times of these in the whole piece. Yeah. So I don't know how long did it take you to learn this, but I was actually under a quite urgent request of playing this, and I had over a month, just barely over a month, and then I thought I'm in trouble. But really, it took me a couple of days to really get a hang of this, because once you learn the first 4 pages, you're pretty much 80% done learning the piece. Yeah, and knowing this repeats often. The new section. If you just look at the left-hand part, and you immediately notice how wide you have to reach. Yes, here on average it's a tenth. Yeah, and in these cases more than a tenth, because they have a unfriendly combination of white key plus a black key. So yeah, it's a little further than just they have to reach. And then I want to make a very important point here. Anytime when we have to stretch our hand, we have to be very, very careful, almost vigilant about how we do it, because when we are playing something loud and fast and we have to stretch, you have to put pressure on, that's where injuries occur. So you don't really want, this is like a unsafe gesture. Yeah, you want to, after this, immediately go back to the comfortable position. But then how do we reach these notes? The key is to measure the distance from your thumb to your pinky with your second finger. And this is what I mean. And it really best shows in these examples. Yeah. If I were just to stay on this G with my second finger, and by the way, these fingers are provided by Chopin himself. Yeah. So all I need to learn is, and next group. So when we need to reach a further stretch or a long distance, we really need a anchoring finger, and in many, many cases it's the second finger. So was this piece. Yeah. So if we can't measure everything from the second finger, the other fingers will become disoriented. Okay. For the right hand, it's also very true. second finger. Yeah, and all of these finger suggestions are provided by Chopin himself, so he's really, really aware of this. The other challenge of these, and as we can see in his other pieces, for instance, Third Ballade, is that you have a very standard chord progression. Yeah, in this case, the four measures, it's just 4, 5, 1. Yeah, and then the next one, I can write this within 30 seconds, but you have all of these chords can break into arpeggiated sections. Right? So very often I see students who play all the right notes, but they don't have a feeling of the harmony. And I know the third measure here, measure 71, you have a kind of gesture to go up, and for me that's like asking a question, but it really doesn't mean you should be loud. Why should we not be loud here? Because right, harmonically that last chord should be a resolution, so we should never play right, but instead second chord is the most, and then you ask a question, and then this question is really just the soprano voice itself, and then okay, and the other challenge for this part is that when we're using our second finger to locate the note, we're also using our wrist to rotate, and that acts, the wrist really is a tool for an extension of our hand. Yeah, so if I don't turn, I can't reach the next note, but if I turn, it kind of very friendly replaces the fingertip into the next note. Okay, I had a claim once saying I can reach 2 octaves. Obviously, I can't reach 2 octaves without moving my wrist, but if I use my second finger, I can pretty much play it relatively connected, but then with the rotation, I can reach much wider than the size of my hand. But here, when we swing our wrist, it helps us a lot to kind of bring an important note, and sometimes that important note is at the end, sometimes that important note is at the very beginning. For instance, here, okay, so this I did not lift my pinky to hit the key. I just placed my pinky on top of the right note, and the force comes from the energy I generated from moving my wrist and arm. Yeah? And also between these two notes, one is you can't play them different, all the same. One is the resolution of the other. But however, 8 measures later, we start to generate more power with our thumb. So from here, so instead of, yeah, which obviously Chopin stopped wanting us, because otherwise he would put an extra quarter note to tie that note. So here, instead of, we do, yeah, and all of these top note we're measuring through holding the second finger. Okay, and here although the dynamic marking is fortissimo, and very soon we see fortissimo, which is quite rare in Chopin's writing. That last note of the left hand, and sometimes this is like very, very wide, and that's very uncomfortable to reach. That last note is not a loud chord or a loud note. We have to use whatever is left, just barely touch it. Okay, and here, this really not yet means we have to play everything loud. That's not a very nice sound. So but I think starting from here, so this is all within one chord. C sharp, E, G, A sharp. And then Chopin marked fortissimo, three Fs. So he really wants this piece to explode here. And the key for that is when we are playing, for instance, the very beginning, we have many notes, but we only push the first note in this case, right? So this is not how we don't play every note equally. We probably play maybe 1/3 or even less than that amount of the note is being pushed down, and a lot of times it's just like a kickback or what I used to call them byproduct. You're departing, and then you just play that last note. But here in this case, every note you have to push. And then going back to that kind of urgent part. So even though this is a diminished sounding chord, but then we are kind of switching the weight of the arm to each chord. And of course, by the end of this section, Chopin wanted us to emphasize this chromatically descending scale. And guess what? Which finger does not change at all? That second finger, the G. So every time when I perform this, I make sure I don't change my location on the second finger. So that I can always find that G. And for these last two notes, it doesn't matter how far away the thumb descends, these stays the same. I think this is it for this episode. I will hopefully very soon upload another video talking about the middle section and then the coda. Thank you for watching. We will finish this one in one more episode.